And while all of these men were intertwined within the story of our beloved General Clinton Canoe Regatta, do you need to turn that down, John, a little bit for me? Yeah. I feel it ringing. Yeah. You'll need to turn it up for some people, but not for me. A little bit up, a little bit up, a little bit up, a little bit up. Good. Okay. While all these men were intertwined within the story of our beloved regatta, each has a special and unique claim to fame. Don Loudon was in on those early meetings where Charlie Hinckley persuaded the group a canoe race would be good for the town and the area in general. Don pitched right in as the Dix's Flat location worked out for a while, but was soon too small. His work on the finance committee helped raise money to buy Mr. Doyle's land, where we are now, and his years as park chairman solidified his place in regatta history. But here's something you may not know. His year as chairman, 1976, of course, the bicentennial year in the United States of America. Don's idea was to mark the occasion was to purchase the flags of the 13 states making up our original 13 colonies. The debut of those flags was on the Friday night of the 76 regatta. And the tradition continued each Friday night for many years. What a great idea. That same year, Don was recognized as the oldest active member of the regatta committee. Don was also in charge of the brochures and the programs for many years. That's a real source of pride as well. Many of those are preserved still in the Regatta Museum. And somehow he would also make his way to Cooperstown early on Monday mornings to assist in the race starts. His family is here to cherish the memories and accept the honor. We have up on the dais with us right now Nancy Wallace, but we'd like to ask Sharon Hunt and Barb Crouch to join for the Loudon sisters to accept the Hall of Fame Award of 2015.
On behalf of our dad, Don Loudon, we would like On behalf of our dad, Don Loudon, we would like to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for this honor bestowed upon him today. He would be so proud standing here accepting this award. Many of you don't remember Don, and some of you have worked with him alongside of him for many years. When I found this article he was asked to write for the Tri-Town News, I thought it would be appropriate to read, as it is in his words and totally Don. It was Wednesday, April 10, 1985. He was 74 years old. The Don Loudon story. Art. You asked me to make a few notes of my experiences I have had while I was chairman and serving on the Regatta Committee. First, I must say I'm not the type to blow my own horn, but you said, if you don't, no one else will do it for you. So, here goes. I remember very well the day that Charlie Hinckley stopped by the farm to talk to me about his idea of the regatta on the river. It sounded great to me, as it had to the other people he had talked to. So this was my beginning of the regatta. I'm not so sure there was a committee that first year. I think possibly it was a very few people working together to get the job done. As everyone must know from the previous articles, it all started at Dix's Flat. I know for sure I'm the oldest active member of the General Clinton Committee, 39 years young, that is, and have served the longest, 22 years. I am very proud to be a member and hope I have added a little impact to this great race. After it was evident that we had outgrown Dix's Flat and we must find another home, We looked at the 40 or 50 acre pasture, which we now call home. At that time, Mr. Doyle owned the property, and I acted as a liaison between Mr. Doyle and our committee. We leased the property for 1 year with the option to buy it after that year. Needless to say, it has been our home ever since. We had a finance committee to raise the money to pay for the park, and I happened to be on that committee. I'm sure you know how we raised the money, which was interest-free from our lenders. After the first year at our new home, it seemed necessary to have a park committee. At the time of the purchase, Ed Opel was president of the chamber. He appointed 6 men to serve on this committee to run and maintain the park. They were Tracy Day, Ed Partridge, Teet Pearsall, Lloyd Sipple, Cliff Wade, and Don Loudon. I happened to be elected chairman of that committee, a position I still proudly hold. I remember building the pavilion with volunteer help. We had the roof nearly on when a windstorm in March blew the building down. What a mess. From that time on, we have built the other new buildings that you now see. Blacktopped roads, playgrounds with equipment donated by various organizations, namely Recreation Club, Ladies Auxiliary, Chamber of Commerce, Vi and Don Loudon. The park has been one of my greatest joys of my life. I'm proud that I've had the opportunity to serve on the committee and help make my community so well known throughout the country. Of all the committees I've enjoyed this the most, being chairman of brochures and programs, meeting so many nice people, and making so many friends year after year was a joy. In 1976, I became general chairman of the Regatta. This also became another exciting niche in my life. Working with so many great people on committees and having another great year made it even more pleasant. My year was the year of the bicentennial, and that it was easy for a theme and special programs. On Friday night, the raising of the flags of the 13 original states, big parade, etc. The flags of the 13 colonies were purchased that year and have flown ever since during any event on the grounds. Nearly all the profits from the regatta goes for improving the park maintenance, taxes, insurance, and other park costs. What makes the regatta such a continuing success? Well, I have never made a practice of agreeing with art if I can avoid it. But here's a subject on which we see alike. We believe the success of the regatta as a result of being run by committees made up of hard-nosed people who have the courage of their convictions. When they don't like something, they get up on their feet and they speak their piece. Then, when they're overruled and outvoted by the committee, instead of taking their dolls and dishes and going home, they stay and work a little harder. In other words, they put their success of the regatta above their own personal feelings. Even though the committee works hard all the year to get things accomplished, it would be impossible to have this great race if it were not for all the great people in the area who work during the weekend. I would like to take this opportunity to say thanks and how much we appreciate it. Now, Art, I have written my story, and I must say in closing, one of the greatest thrills I get is standing by the entrance, looking across the park with Old Glory flying and thinking, this really is the land of the free, and I love it. Yours for better canoeing, Don Loudon.
Woo!
And so it is still today, a beautiful park, enjoyed by many and hard work by others to keep it going. Thank you again, our dad would be extremely honored, and I'm sure he's smiling down today. And we are also very proud, his family, to be standing here today accepting this for him. Thank you.